Yo, and welcome back to another podcast with myself, Lee, WWLeeTV, and my good friend.
Hello and welcome. I am the Black White Soul.
Sorry it's been so long. All sorts of stuff going on during the summer, but we are back, and I'm happy. I've been looking forward to this all day. And basically, the main reason we're here tonight is to talk about the breaking news regarding Seth Rollins, literally. Seth Rollins, the WWE Championship, and much, much, much more. So, Ricky, how you been?
I am good. I've been catching up on Vampire Diaries. I've only done the first disc. Had to buy it because I can't find it to stream anywhere. Yeah, apart from that, I don't know. Just random general life stuff.
Random general life, yeah.
What's the last thing? Well, so that was your trip to Vegas.
Oh, yeah. As you guys have probably seen some of my vlogs, but it was one of the best trips I've ever been on. I literally left a part of me out there. I'm pretty sure.
And
I didn't feel quite
paddle.
complete. Yeah, mostly on the woman's paddle. I got spanked by a waitress for not eating on my burger. Not the worst thing to happen, not gonna lie. She was quite hot. But yeah, it was a bit like Hangover Part 4. The whole trip. But if you guys ever get a chance to go to Vegas, please do, because it's another world. Loved it.
Good. Well,
yeah.
Our last pay-per-view was Hell in the Cell. How was the pay-per-view?
It was not as good as I thought it would be, but delivered in certain areas.
I thought both the Hell in the Cell matches were great, and you didn't get what you've had previous years where you've got the fatigue. Both Hell in the Cells were different enough and exciting enough that they both worked. Wyatt and Reigns really, they worked their arse off to make it so they had an entertaining match. And then of course the whole everything around Taker and Brock, that was just its own aura.
It was, definitely. And the opening of pay-per-view.
Yes.
Cena's open challenge.
Which we thought Jack Swagger was going to come out.
Oh, God, I was like, really? Are they really going to do this again?
Mr. Zeb Coulter.
Zeb Coulter comes out. You naturally think Jack Swagger comes out, which I wouldn't have been too thrilled about. But they hit us with a swerve. Alberto Del Rio comes out. I've never been a huge fan of his. But it was actually quite cool because I didn't see it coming. As far as I knew, he was over at, what are they called?
Lucha Underground.
Lucha Underground.
And also there's a Mexican company called AAA, who, at the time, he was still their champion. So, on that Sunday, they received a very big hint that he has left that company.
Something tells me he's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He come back to what I hear was a pretty big salary, and he gets to beat John Cena clean. With ease.
Yes. One thing, if Del Rio is using the super kick on the knees, Seth Rollins needs to stop using it.
Oh, he does.
Especially because he used that as a finisher, while Seth, in his match with Kane, which was, because,
Yep.
But you can't use someone's finisher as, your standard.
No.
That's why I think Shawn Michaels would be screwed if he came back now, because everyone's chucking out super kicks left and right.
And not getting a complete pin over anyone.
This is basically the DDT.
Yeah.
DDT was a finisher, then it just got sort of mixed into being a standard move. And that's now where the super kick has gone. It's just a standard move.
I do see Austin's point. It does cheapen the move and makes it seem weaker, but
it is sort of the evolution of wrestling and just...
Exactly. Yeah. Speaking of the Seth Rollins match, I was hoping it would be so much more and come to a bigger conclusion, but it was just meh.
Oh my God, I really should have looked up the facts before this, but I think I listened to other podcasts, even though, of course, just listen to us, you only need us.
You do.
But it looked like the ratio of Seth's wins was absolutely ridiculous. And I believe it actually only... Sting and that match against Kane are his only clean wins as champion.
You're joking.
Without some sort of distraction or some sort of interference.
Oh, that is not good. Oh dear. And he's the champion, and he's been champion since March.
Mm-hmm.
That does not bode well, but I have loved him as champion.
Yeah.
It's got boring in places, but I don't think that's necessarily to do with him.
No. I think our main issue is just like we've just got this stagnant thing going on with the Authority. The Authority we need to just get rid of.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
As much as I like Triple H and like his involvement with NXT is fantastic, he just doesn't really seem like he really wants to like be doing this role.
No.
And Stephanie is just my big issue with Stephanie is she's a girl. Now, not getting into the whole feminist thing, but it just means that you can't do anything. She can get right in a wrestler's face, reprimand them, slap them, and they have no way of getting revenge. The good thing about Vince McMahon and the Authority role was you knew the good guys could get one over. Like, every time anyone has got anything over on the Authority, they have always been crushed afterwards. And nothing bad ever happens to Stephanie McMahon.
Never.
She's just untouchable. It was even Triple H who got thrown by Ronda Rousey.
Well, yeah. No karma has come Stephanie's way. The only thing she's had happen to her is get thrown into that pudding.
Yeah.
They pretended to.
And Daniel Bryan sort of suicide died, but it was more the other two, and they pushed her out the way.
Yeah.
Because that's the best you can do. Because, how... It's not about a man beating up a woman, but how satisfying would a running knee on Stephanie McMahon have been after all that time? All the stuff she had done to him and said about Daniel Bryan.
I know. It's like with Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. I was really hoping she would do more than just... But she didn't even do anything. She just grabbed her arm. Ugh.
Yes.
Sorry. The match that did deliver at Hell in a Cell for me, which was better than I thought it would be, was the Reigns and Wyatt.
Yeah, they went all out, they did some cool spots, and it was just a clean one-on-one match. No weirdness from the Wyatts, They just went kind of simple.
Balls to the wall. I mean, they went for it.
There weren't many tables left after that, but they did well.
Oh, the spot with the table at the side of the ring, and what was it, like a chokeslam kind of thing? Like
it's Uranagi.
Uranagi, that's the one. I'm not really good at the wrestling names, wrestling move names, but that looked brutal. I love the match, it was really good.
Yeah. Kevin Owens, thankfully Kevin Owens got a clean win over Ryback, which, if you look at the amount of people that have a clean win over Ryback, that is very few, so...
Very.
It's a good sign, but then also it was an under 10-minute match they got, but of course with the other... You had the challenge, you had 2 Hell in the Cells, so one match always has to get squished.
Yeah.
The Charlotte and Nikki match was okay. It was a good match. They gave them some time. But now Nikki's gone for a while, thankfully.
Thank God.
So we can start hopefully getting this this mess of a Divas revolution. It's its own awful thing.
It is. I mean, that's probably another long topic for another day, but all I can say on that is, what the hell? Paige turned heel and then went face for some reason, and then within 12 hours went heel again.
It just makes Becky and Charlotte look like morons.
Yeah.
But
it does.
I think we're at a point now where we're better off. It's been a very rocky start. They just wanted to get the Divas some recognition, so they chucked in this whole team thing, but then didn't have any plans to do anything with teams.
Nothing.
So then we kind of just, for weeks on end, just got 6-man, 2-man tags, which is none of these girls' specialties, which is like singles. While on NXT, this worked because they just had people going out and wrestling.
Yeah. There's too many divas at ringside most of the time, and you can't really get into one sole diva and become a fan of them because there's just too much going on around them. That's one of my big issues.
As soon as all these teams break down and we can just get to it looks like, thankfully, we're going for a Paige and Charlotte feud, and that's where I want it to be. Becky Lynch, of course, will be involved. And, I don't know, there we go. We've got 3 people in a feud. We don't need 6.
No. To me, it's just like they're aware that they need more diva time on screen, but they're trying to chuck them all out at once to get them out of the way of the show. When really they should just put like 2 or 3 singles divas matches on in the night.
Yeah. But my highlight and the saving grace of WWE TV, The New Day. Oh my God, this team has just found like the chemistry that works for them, and it is phenomenal.
Big fan then, huh?
I love the New Day. They're like the most entertaining thing, and it's again something that happened organically. They were given this awful face gimmick they knew wouldn't work, but then they managed to just run with it. Just Xavier on the trombone, just Big E's hips, and Kofi's skipping and clapping.
That's hilarious.
Just their promos are fantastic. The unicorn magic when Xavier was hurt.
Have you told Andy about that yet?
Yeah, I have. He was quite a fan. But they have just been some of the most entertaining promos. They have been like the most dominant tag team in a long time. They finished a Raw with the Dudleys, John Cena, and Dolph Ziggler all being laid out by them. That is a good shout.
They had a big night that night. I didn't think I'd see that anytime soon, them closing the show.
Yeah.
Powerfully.
And their feud with the Dudleys has been fantastic. Save the tables. Dudleys, they just haven't missed a beat. Their in-ring is fantastic. I'm not sure what's going on now. I haven't seen them for the last 2 weeks. They've seemed to have...
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just like giving them a bit of time off, or they were just meant to literally come in for this feud. I'm not sure what's going on there.
No.
But last week we did get the return of another tag team, the Usos.
Yes, how could I forget?
That was a shock. Well, you can forget because it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last week's Raw was weird. Like they had this whole, we've got to get our teams together, and nothing. Not a single backstage promo. Literally just like, Reigns now turns up, and it's like, what? Did these people just happen to appear? Could we not have got a backstage promo of Reigns going, yeah, okay, guys, I really need you, yeah, and like, who's on the phone? There must be some mystery. You haven't been around for a while. Tease it.
Yeah.
Instead, it was just like, there's Roman Reigns, and just like, Usos.
Yeah, it's come out of nowhere. Ridiculous, like Eric Rowan when he returned. It was just like, you're standing behind Bray Wyatt. Hi.
But it was also a weird time when Luke had disappeared, so that was just a really odd sort of twitch. And it took me, they didn't acknowledge it as well. So it was just, who's got, okay.
The way they do things.
But in what I've actually enjoyed is just Bray Wyatt's over-the-top magical promos. Just, I have consumed the soul of the Undertaker and Kane. I bring lightning. I control the thunder. And just, it's just a ridiculous old-school Undertaker feud, and I love it.
I love magical powers stuff. I'm 29. I know it's fake, but I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. So, is it going to be a proper Survivor Series match, or is that going to be a 2-on-4?
This is probably one of the most interesting things going on in the minute for me in the WWE. I'd like to think that the Brothers of Destruction are going to reunite and have matches again, but I've got a feeling they're going to pull out someone.
Yeah.
I can see them bringing up,
like, Sting would fit in with character. Sting has the legacy, and then it would set up the match I want to see at WrestleMania of Sting versus The Undertaker.
Exactly.
But, well, after Sting's last performance in a pay-per-view, that we don't 100% know Sting's health. So we don't know where that is going to take us. But that's a good thing on Raw. Another
potential guy they could bring with them is Daniel Bryan for me.
He's got the connection with... He's already partnered up with them.
Exactly. You've got Team Hell No reunited. He's wrestled with The Undertaker before, alongside him. I think that'd be a great person for him to...
But again, he's someone we just don't know where his career stands. We're waiting for this... It does not take months to get a medical opinion. They have their concussion tests. They even actually showed it on WWE Breaking Grounds.
Yeah.
They just sort of put them through their paces. So I do not know what is the big delay in this.
Daniel Bryan knows what his position is. I think WWE are waiting for the right moment.
Yeah.
And I think maybe won't be until after Royal Rumble, because they don't want him anywhere near it. Because people are going to go in to Royal Rumble, if he returns before then, thinking that Daniel Bryan's going to be involved, and then for the third year in a row, we're going to get boos as the pay-per-view ends. So I think they're just going to hold off from even mentioning him whatsoever until after the Royal Rumble.
For me, another thing that at the moment I can't really call it a positive because it's been a bit weird, but Tyler Breeze.
Oh yeah. He
What?
just kind of
Okay, as a guy that doesn't watch NXT,
Mm.
what do you know about Tyler Breeze?
He likes taking selfies with his selfie stick.
Yeah.
Seems quite feminine, so I'm surprised he's hanging around with a girl.
Mm.
You know.
So you've literally just, out of nowhere, he appears with a VIP section on Raw.
Yeah, VIP section.
That is the first time we get to see him, because apparently he did an appearance on the defunct, not important at all SmackDown,
Mm-hmm.
which is that's just killing someone off the bat.
Yeah.
But at least, like, he's been put in there with Ziggler, and I cannot wait for this match. This is going to be a fantastic, like, show stealer of a match.
Yeah.
If they give them time.
Yeah. They're similar.
Yeah, they are, but they're both goddamn good in that ring.
Oh, they are. From what I have seen of Tyler Breeze, and I have seen him wrestle a couple of times.
You've watched a few of the takeovers.
The takeovers. He, as I say, he reminds me of Ziggler, which is a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, a huge one.
Yeah, what else is going on? Rusev is out for a little bit with an injury.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's literally disappeared.
Another injury.
But Lana's scheduled to be coming back soonish from injury, so I think we're getting a reset of the Lana and Rusev thing, and I'm happy. The whole... Okay, it was a double-edged sword, the whole Summer Rusev thing. Frankly, Rusev was fantastic with it. He did the best out of just this ridiculous storyline, throwing a fish at Lana, and just... But I don't know, the Ziggler and Summer chemistry was awful. And Ziggler really came off badly in that feud.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they kind of just, like, killed it.
Nipped it in the bud. I mean, it did literally come out of nowhere, the fact that it was announced that Lana and Rusev are actually engaged in real life.
Yeah.
Apparently they got in some trouble for that. But
sort of, what, you want them to lie?
Yeah.
You're very... But then what? This is what WWE needs to figure out, like, what message they're going to send. Because we're doing these Raw, Austin podcasts after Raw. We're advertising that fact. So, after Stone Cold and Lesnar talked about guns and how he just doesn't like being around people and chilling and feeding the Jew. Does that really make him come off as the monster that he is, who just hates everyone?
Yeah.
And, like, the fact Vince McMahon talking about people, just... And then we're doing the WWE Breaking Grounds, which I'm enjoying on the network, which is a look at, like, the training up of NXT. And again, you're like... We can't sort of live in the wrestling bubble of keeping people out. It just can't exist anymore. Everyone knows. We're all smart marks.
Kayfabe's dead.
Yeah. And I'm absolutely fine with keeping... Kayfabe should 100% be on the show.
Yeah.
Because it's a show. But when we're doing stuff away from it, it should be fine. Like, it should be fine. Like, Triple H doesn't start, like, pedigreeing kids in the street because he's evil.
Quite hilarious.
Exactly. And then, like, they're telling Lana and Rusev off for, like, showing that they're actually engaged outside. Then why isn't Stephanie McMahon going to these be a star things and just slapping kids in the face? You know?
Yeah, how are you going to be a star?
That's double standard.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Speaking of, kayfabe, I wanted to bring this up. Have you heard that Taker and Kane are actually wrestling on the shows over here? Bray Wyatt's all like, I have the Undertaker and Kane's souls. But they're going to go and wrestle in the UK, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I hadn't heard they'd done it in the UK yet. I heard they'd done matches with the Wyatts, like, on house shows in sort of Spain and stuff. So I knew they had started. I didn't realise it was here yet, but yeah.
I think some bands scratching their heads over that one.
But again, house shows don't count into continuity.
No.
It's like, if it's anything that's televised, it should all keep the kayfabe.
Yeah.
But when they're doing something that's not a direct show, then you're free to talk. Like Table for Free, you're free. I like another show I love.
Yeah.
Free just to chat about wrestling.
Yeah. Eat and chat. We haven't got the food right here, but we're chatting about wrestling.
But Neville's got his apple. He loves his apple.
Yeah.
Doesn't care about the pork. Oh, dear.
Good show.
Yeah. It is enjoyable. I love the the New Day's one.
Mm.
And, like, Kofi going, well, I was one of these old school guys that came up in the industry, not like these footballers that get paid to come in. Like, Big E's like, he's like, well, I was a footballer that was paid to get in. You got a problem with that? They're just, they're just ribbing on each other. It's good.
I quite like the one with Ryback and Daniel Bryan.
You're
and
a
apparently, Daniel Bryan's a bully backstage. He's like, I don't know anything about this. Yeah, it's funny.
I can see that. Daniel Bryan has got, like, a bit of a dick about him. Like, he knows the industry, and, like, he's just like, I'm just gonna take the piss out of you if I want.
Yeah. Apparently, Ryback rides alone now. So he's bullied out of his joining anyone else on his travels. Oh, just quickly, what did you think of the Brock Lesnar and Taker match at Hell in a Cell?
Oh, well, the match itself, I thought it was fantastic. They just did everything you wanted. The Taker bladed that I'm not sure. I'm a person that I think blood does add to a match, but also in light of what's happened in years, especially like on indies, where people have bladed, and a guy I managed to train with at one point, like Nigel McGuinness, he caught hepatitis through like blading and blood. So there is an argument to be it shouldn't be there, but if it happens, it happens. And I'm sure WWE's safe with that kind of stuff. They'll have people medically checked.
Gloves and sterile equipment and all that.
Yeah, but I think, like Lesnar, we know, I don't think he bladed. I think he just full-on headbutted that post.
Yeah.
That was a lot of blood.
He done it the hard way.
Yeah.
And he's done that twice this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. But then, like, God, that medical guy that came in, and I really don't know how shoot or how fake that was, where he launched that.
That was shoot.
That was shoot. He just launched that guy across the ring.
Yeah.
Just disappeared.
Not gonna lie, Vince wasn't happy about that one.
Yeah, but it's Brock Lesnar.
But it's,
what you gonna do? Exactly. Especially now, Cena's gone, your champion's out.
Yep. Literally, he's the biggest star in the company right now. And the only star.
So WWE TV has not been fantastic lately. There's those shining spots like the New Day, but all in all, it's just... I like wrestling. I like the physical mechanics of wrestling. But when there's just match after match with no stakes, there's nothing on the line, it's just a match. Who cares if The Miz beats or loses to Ryback? There's no up or down movement in that sort of scenario. There's just far too many matches that just have no connection to a story and no relevance.
No.
And, like, again, like last week, why were there not backstage segments teasing for the main event? Like with Roman Reigns trying to recruit people, or Seth Rollins, at least he got one with the New Day connecting up. And his little Kevin Owens ones, that was fine, but why didn't Reigns get any of those?
Exactly. And it's the rewrites that kill them. There's the constant rewrites, and it's like a cop show, and it's procedural. You know, it opens, you see a murder, they hear about the murder, they go and investigate. It's very procedural. Every week, it's the same thing. You know, I could skip a Raw, and I could tell you what kind of order it went in. You know, you get like a promo at the beginning, they set up a first match, then you get all these matches in the middle, which is just a bit of a clusterfuck, and then you don't really know what's going on, because there isn't really real stories there. But everything is obviously building towards the main event, which centres around the only story that they really have.
There have been quite a few times where I've been tempted to, like, let's just skip this week.
Yeah.
But, like, because I like doing these and I like to keep up to date, I don't. And it's like I'm almost forcing myself to watch the show, when all I could really need to do is watch the show after a pay-per-view, the show before a pay-per-view, and the pay-per-views. And I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
It's just, they're just really struggling with getting a cohesive story. And I feel that's Vince's fault, because Vince seems to be constantly doing, literally, day of the show, no, we've got to change it all. When that just ruins everything. Like, if these writers are good or bad, why don't we let their stories play out for a bit, and then we can fire them if they're bad.
Yeah.
Keep them on if they're good.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just the same old, and it's too predictable. They need to get away from this predictability, which is one of the reasons why their ratings are going down the pan.
Yeah.
It's honestly one of the reasons why. I truly believe that.
When was the last backstage segment that did not contain an authority member you can think of?
going to say last week, but Seth Rollins was
Yep,
technically
that's
in the
Seth
authority.
Rollins. He's authority.
I truly can't.
No, nor can I.
The Divas even had Stephanie McMahon butt in at
Yeah.
one point. So no, I can't.
Yeah, that's it. There's like, they just seem to reserve backstage segments for the guys that are overly exposed of the authority, two of which are Triple H and Stephanie, that have no reason to be involved in matches at the moment. It's like, I don't understand why we can't, in a 3-hour show. We used to have their excuses, oh, it's hard making 3 hours of entertainment. SmackDown and Raw used to both be relevant. That's 4 hours. With 1 hour less, I know it's in now a condensed 3-hour block. How can they not come up with enough story? And if that's the case, why are we not just having more people? I'm actually quite interested in something that's happened randomly recently of the Lucha Dragons got a promo, sort of a vignette video, which hasn't been done for a while, just featuring them. And then the new team, which I actually kind of like, of Barrett and Sheamus, they lost to the Lucha Dragons. So that's actually like a storyline, but can we not get, like, their reaction? Like, if I didn't remember that match they had, I wouldn't know. Like, a backstage thing afterwards, like, or the Lucha Dragons, like, we beat the guy that could be champion soon because he's got the money in the bank.
There's no follow-up to it. Like,
And then you're also letting them know why they're doing it, letting them know that it's going to continue, there'll probably be something next week, and that the money in the bank is still a thing and keeping it in people's minds.
Yeah. God, never really thought about the backstage thing.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And backstage segments used to be the most memorable parts of the show. And they used to happen a lot with different people and... Oof.
Like, what story really was there to Kevin Owens and Ryback? He managed to cut a few good promos with interviews, and he's doing his best when they give him, like, those insert promos that I barely ever pay attention to and nobody else does.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was just a match on a pay-per-view. But they could have made it personal. They could have had it like Kevin Owens, the wrestler's wrestler, versus, like, sort of the big powerhouse.
And if these people are really that angry at each other, their feud doesn't just take place once they get to an arena. You know? You have them doing, like, on-location stuff. If they're really that pissed off with someone, he goes to, like, the house, like Triple H did with Randy Orton all those years ago. You know, in their cars. Just think outside the box a bit more, because it's refreshing. Why has it all just got to be, we wait to get to the arena if we're going to fight some more?
And then we'll stand nicely and wait for this to happen.
Yeah.
Introducing, and now fight.
Don't just be angry at the arena, be angry everywhere.
I have to say, the quality of wrestling on TV is far greater than it ever has been. But the reason for the wrestling is gone, which is the worst sin. Because also then, like, what is different from a pay-per-view compared to the weekly show? If you're getting phenomenal matches every single, like, week, you're giving them lots of time, and then when you get to a 3-hour pay-per-view, what's different on the pay-per-view then that you don't get on just a Raw and just, like, matches? Raw should be more setting up and giving you a reason to care for the pay-per-view. That should be the thing that's forcing you to buy the network to watch the pay-per-views.
Kind of the most important bit. They're the building block for the pay-per-view.
But if you're getting decent matches, you're watching week by week, well, I'll find out the results of the pay-per-view and I'll just keep watching that without buying the network.
I mean, it still is an entertainment company. We're just not being all that entertained at the minute. Other than up and down, the roster is much better than it was during the Attitude Era, and the wrestling is insanely better. But there's still an entertainment aspect there that we need the stories to get behind these people.
Yeah, because I think we can definitely make an argument that, like, Too Cool were never the greatest wrestlers.
No.
Test was never a great wrestler.
No.
But they actually had storylines that mattered, and they did things.
Yeah, like the Hardys and, like, you know, Dean Malenko and all that. They had this, like, little story going on with, like, a love interest with Lita. Just little stuff, little touches like that, which is why they were in the ring in the first place.
And even, like, every match you cared about Edge and Christian and how they were going to get out of a title match, or you cared about Perry Saturn and his mop.
Yeah.
the Dudleys and D-Generation X feuding and ending in like a dumpster match. Because again, it was a match that didn't involve the title, but it was also personal. They had reasons to fight.
Yeah. It's the little stories like that, which is why I become a fan in the first place.
I think like the storyline I can think that's done it the best, like the New Day and the Dudleys. They put Xavier through a table, then they like kept stopping them using the tables, and there was actually like a reason for them to fight. I was actually quite surprised they kept the titles, but unless that means the Dudleys are leaving, but
I hope not.
they had a storyline that progressed week by week, and then it came to a pay-per-view. That's how every wrestling should be.
Should be, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of us rambling about wrestling. Let's get on to the main issue of Seth Rollins' knee.
Yeah, I got some notes.
Ooh, we got some notes. So, who's going to be our champion at the next pay-per-view?
Okay. Now, it kind of all goes in hand with the questions that you left me earlier.
Yep.
What I thought, but we've got Survivor Series coming up. I'm just going to get all this out now. We've got Survivor Series coming up. I want there to be I want like a 16-man tournament. And basically, I'm a couple of long stories short, I want it to come down to Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose in the final match of the evening. And I can see, I'll say this for a little bit later as to how, but I can see Reigns winning the belt.
Yeah.
I can see a swerve coming, but I'm gonna get to this later.
Okay, yeah, because
it ties in with another question that Ricky had for me. So
that's fine. Yeah, I have to admit, if I just quick look at the roster, Reigns.
Yeah.
At the moment, I cannot see anyone else that is really on that level. Because Orton's out, Cena's out. Like, we know there's people that are definitely good enough. Like Cesaro is good enough and should be in that main event slot, but given like his current area, same for like Ziggler. He's been a champion, but
too soon.
Could you really see him holding the title right now?
It's too soon.
And like from a perspective of like just your general fans who are like, oh, like Miz main evented WrestleMania. Could you see him with that title now?
No way. No
Barrett never quite got the title, but he was in the main event picture. Could you see him with that title now?
No one can truly justify why they should be champion, apart from... I've got two people, Ambrose and Reigns.
Yeah, they're the only people I think that are on that higher echelon.
Yep.
And that is a real issue when you've got such a talented roster, like some of the best wrestlers, and actually really good promo guys when you give them the chance. But none of them at the moment are really believable.
This is where I've got concerns, because WWE apparently have literally spent Wednesday night doing rewrites, not only for the next few Raws, but for the rest of the year, and going into WrestleMania, because Seth Rollins was going to be champion until WrestleMania. Now, I don't want them to rush this decision and just put the belt back on a returning Cena, because
oh god, that'd be the worst.
Star. I want them to actually sit back and look at the talent they have, because they've got some amazing talent, and put it on one of these up and comers. I'm so scared that they're just going to bring back Cena early.
I won't lie, I didn't actually think about that. That is sadly, I don't know, I'm scared to watch Raw now. I hadn't thought about that. That then Panic bring back Cena. Oh no.
Yeah, that's been going through my head for a few days. Yeah.
Oh no.
There's that, but then there's what I want to happen. But as I said, I'll get to that a little bit later. But honestly, I think we see it every week. Monday Night Raw, they do Panic rewrites to try and make it better, and they don't. If they're panicking now because Rollins is gone, what the hell are they going to do? They're going to panic, bring back the biggest star that isn't injured. He's just out having a vacation. I want them to actually sit and look at Reigns, who does deserve it, and Ambrose, who deserves it, and give it to the young talent. How are they ever going to be taken seriously by us if they don't take them seriously themselves?
Exactly. Let's look at Batista and Randy Orton's first title runs. They weren't the best, but you've got to have that trial by fire. You've got to give it a chance. If you never give it a chance, let's be honest, ratings can't get worse than they are now.
No way.
So let's try something different.
Outside the box.
which is actually a great Out of the Box TV is a great YouTube channel I like, and I constantly talk at the guy when I meet him at Comic Cons.
Yeah, little plug there for you.
Yeah. He's not a wrestling fan, so I very much doubt he'll find this. But
you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe see him again one day.
oh, he's a good guy. Good old Tom.
Yeah.
Tom from Outside the Box. You can find him on Twitter and all that media.
Social
stuff.
medias.
But yeah, right. So, well, let's go with my big question then. So, what is the plan for the WWE title going from? Well, what would you do as a booker with the WWE title going into the Survivor Series and on to WrestleMania?
So, Reigns, as I said earlier, I can see him leaving Survivor Series as a champion, but this is how I would have them do it. So there's a 16-man tournament throughout the whole night. It's just a tournament for the WWE Championship. And you've got the likes of Ziggler, you've got, Cesaro in the mix, having these awesome matches. And we get down to the final two. And I want these final two to be Reigns versus Ambrose. So we get Reigns versus Ambrose, brothers from the Shield. And this is what the big story can be about, is that they're brothers and they've got to fight for the title. And they have one hell of a long match and, balls to the wall. And then you get Triple H come down to ringside. And everyone's like, whoa, what's going on here, And I think naturally everyone's going to think that Ambrose is going to turn heel. But Triple H is hanging around ringside and he chucks Reigns a sledgehammer or chair and he catches it and he's like, at first he looks confused and then that confusion just turns into a big smile and he turns around and nails Ambrose with the weapon. And you've got like Scott Armstrong, that crafty ref.
Yep.
He comes in and Reigns gets the win over Ambrose, and then you get Triple H get into the ring with a microphone and say to Ambrose, there's always a plan B. And then you've got heel Reigns, which is what I think he needs. He needs a big character adjustment. And then that builds your story for the next several months. Because Ambrose has then not only been screwed over by Seth Rollins in the Shield, he's now been screwed over by his brother Reigns. And then you've got the Authority with Reigns versus Ambrose going into like the Royal Rumble. And they make life hell for him. Even worse they did Daniel Bryan. And then somehow, I don't care how, but you've got Ambrose in the Royal Rumble. And he wins the Royal Rumble. And I'd like to see Ambrose Reigns main event WrestleMania.
Yep.
And obviously, everyone's going to be thinking the Authority are going to come down to assist Reigns in the main event. But they're like banned from the ringside. And obviously, WrestleMania 32, there's 100,000 people there. I'd like to see a returning legend referee the match.
Okay.
Someone like Austin.
Yeah, if he's not going to wrestle, at least have him do something.
At least have him do something.
It's Texas.
Keep the Authority away from ringside and have Ambrose win the title at Mania. That's a long story short, but yeah, that's the way I'd like to see it come down.
I'll be honest, mine's not too dissimilar.
Really?
The ideas I have for the titles basically involve the same people.
Oh.
But my one would go, Reigns wins it at the Survivor Series in this tournament. And then I'd actually have him sort of like stay away from Ambrose for a little bit. So I'd have him sort of feud, maybe get like a feud with a Kevin Owens and Alberto Del Rio. If Rusev returns before the Rumble, maybe like give Reigns a couple of opponents like that. And again, giving the title to Reigns keeps Reigns out of the Royal Rumble, which is what we need. You do not want Roman Reigns to be in the Royal Rumble.
You don't.
That is a key thing. And I would have Dean Ambrose win the Rumble, and he's going to go face his brother. Well, yeah, his brother from the Shield, Dean Ambrose, at WrestleMania. And then over the next 3 months, I would have that sort of the tension. I'd have them like sort of partnering up here and there, and I'd still have that tension building and building.
Yep.
And then I'd start like doing stuff like doing matches where, even if it's by cheating, Reigns sort of loses. So then he slightly gets that bit of doubt, and then come WrestleMania, you have the big sort of match 1-on-1. They're going for it, and a bit like the Vince McMahon thing. You would have Triple H come out, and you would have him sort of help cost Ambrose the match. And then you've got your heel, Roman Reigns, where you've actually built up this doubt over a period of time, a story, culminating in WrestleMania, and then a heel Roman Reigns at the top. Because let's be, this time of the year, he's gonna. That would also be another factor, because he is gonna get. It's not gonna change. He is gonna get booed from the Royal Rumble period to WrestleMania.
Yep.
So he might as well start embracing it, start turning on the crowd a bit, and start just feeling that little bit like I might need this support to go against this lunatic fringe. Yeah.
Nice. I like how similar we've gone there.
Yeah.
We hadn't even discussed this prior.
But then also, I think that also, sadly, again brings us back to this discussion we're having about the roster and how just you can't see anyone apart from those two being champ.
Nope.
Especially not a Money in the Bank holder.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I forgot.
But then also thinking of him, he is Triple H's buddy.
He is.
So I could see him actually cashing in soon, or they do something like he cashes in to get into the main event. And I could see him very much being the replacement Seth Rollins for a while. And that would be bad.
I guess if you look at it that way, I forgot about the fact that Sheamus was... like, is Ambrose win the tournament, but only holds it, like Daniel Bryan did, for like 5 minutes. And Sheamus cashes in. Yeah. That's another thing.
But then, of course, like we have the dream of Daniel Bryan could return.
Oh, that as well. I want it to happen. I really do. I'd like to see him come back and face a legend at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle's my dream.
Kurt Angle, especially because he's like sort of free at the moment. He's got something going on with MMA where I'm praying to God he is not even thinking of stepping in
to MMA,
an octagon with his health conditions. But he is mental enough to do it.
Yeah.
I just want him to be like on as an analysis. That would be better, and like spokesman, he's a high profile guy.
Exactly, you can put his opinion in.
He was in Sharknado 2, god damn it.
Was he in Sharknado 2?
He was in one of the Sharknados. And then I think Jericho is in, Sharknado 3 that's coming out.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
It's a reason to watch.
Yeah, they're the worst films ever, but they're funny bad.
Funny bad.
Yeah. Well.
So Seth Rollins, just quickly, when I found out, I was just heartbroken for him because just the way he cashed in at WrestleMania was such a huge moment. And for it to end like this is just like, ugh.
For me, I see it as a little bit of a silver lining. Because I'll be honest, I think his title run's been awful. He's good at being a heel, but he's just been overshadowed by Triple H. He's not been showered by Triple H and Stephanie.
You never know. They're close.
Stephanie in the shower. Anyway. He's been overshadowed by those two and just made to look like a little bitch.
Yeah.
So I can see this like almost being a positive, because like he is going to return, and I can see him just doing a huge babyface run. Like with his in-ring style, he can easily do it.
Oh.
And I think it'll be exciting to have him back. And if he like comes and he's against the authority, that'll just...
Well, if he's out for, they say 6 to 9 months, what are we in? So it's like December, January, February, March, April, May. At least May.
Yeah.
Potentially maybe August, SummerSlam time. And if he comes back, he will literally be returning as one of the biggest faces in the company. I guarantee it.
I hope they do that, because I think if he came back as a heel, it would just be like, oh, is
yeah,
back like that.
I can't imagine it'd be too dissimilar to when Triple H returned after his injury.
Exactly, he was like the biggest heel, but it was still exciting to hear that music.
Yeah, and that was huge.
Though the whole denim over a leather jacket, he must have been baking.
Yeah. God, that was a good moment.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens on Raw. I believe it's already sort of been announced on the website they are doing a tournament for the title at Survivor Series.
Okay.
I believe that has been done on the website, so they'll probably
confirm on Raw.
That's the word. Yeah.
So we've got 2 weeks now till Survivor Series?
Yes.
Okay. So I think there's going to be a lot going on in the next couple of weeks.
So yeah, I think we'll probably do another podcast maybe just before the pay-per-view and get our predictions.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns. I think Something big's going to happen with Reigns and Ambrose.
Yeah.
Guns here.
Yeah, you can really see those guns on this audio podcast. Yeah, that's flex.
That's right, ladies.
Oh my god, these 8-packs we have, man.
8-packs. I got an 8-pack of beer. And...
Alright, before we just ramble into oblivion, I believe it's time we should say goodbye.
Goodbye.
So, from me, the Black White Soul, TTFN.
And from me, WWLeeTV, thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate you all. Ciao for now.